What's up, awesome YouTubers? Ryan1988 or Justin back here to do a video for you all. I hope you're all doing well out there, and happy Monday to you all. Today's video, I wanted to talk about 6 of my favorite summer slasher movies. Like many of you, horror movie fans, slasher movie fans, when it comes to summer, we like to watch summer slasher movies. And it is one of my favorite type of slasher movie. Ones that take place out in the woods or summer camp, whatever it may be. I love a good summer horror movie. I love a good summer slasher film. And so this might be a part 1 of 2 videos, where in part 2 I might cover just summer horror movies to check out. My buddy Nick over at the Lost River Drive-In recently did a video talking about, I believe, 10 summer horror movies. Awesome video, guys. If you guys have not subscribed to Nick's channel yet, please go do so. I've talked about him plenty. He is one of my close friends here on YouTube. It is a pleasure to know him, to talk to him, and we always do live chats every Monday on his channel, and it is so much fun, guys. We've done it for about a month and a half. So much fun. We get a lot of people in there chatting with us, and it's always a blast. So go check out our live chats on his channel every Monday. Normally it's like 5 p.m. Today 5 p.m. Eastern time, but today we're going to do it at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. So definitely go check out just Nick's channel in general, the Lost River Drive-In. His channel's awesome. Nick's been around for such a long time, but he's creating amazing content at the moment on his channel, and I'm just so proud of him. I've known him for a long time, and I am just blessed to have him as a friend. So again, Nick, the Lost River Drive-In, go check him out, guys. I will leave his channel down in the description below, and check out his 10 summer horror movies to check out, because he has some great ones on there. But this is going to be 6 summer slasher movies that I'm going to recommend, and again, I'll probably do a part 2 where I just talk about just in general summer horror movies to check out. They don't have to be slasher movies. There's a lot of other summer horror movies out there that I love and I will recommend to you guys. So the first of the 6 slasher movies, summer slasher movies that I'm going to recommend you guys check out is Tourist Trap from 1979. Probably one of the lesser known ones that people talk about when it comes to summer horror movies, summer slasher movies, but I absolutely love this film. It's actually quite eerie. It's quite suspenseful. It's got a lot of eerie moments. Great practical effects in this movie. Some of the stuff that happens in this film, you're just kind of wondering how they did it, because back in 1979, you really didn't have CGI to make some of these things happen. So, right away, probably like less than 10 minutes into this movie, something happens in a room with a character, and a lot of different things are going on. And I absolutely I love the practical effects. I love the eeriness about this movie. It's produced by Charles Band from Full Moon. I remember picking up probably the first, if not one of the first, DVDs of this back in 08 or 09, and falling in love with this movie right away, and I still love this movie today. It's very similar to another horror movie that I'm going to talk about in a minute, and I would consider it to be somewhat of a remake, just with a different title, and I'll explain that in just a minute. But if you don't know the plot about this, it's about a group of young youths. They are, kind of broke down on the side of the road, having car problems, and they come across a old amusement park where you would go in the summer and kind of visit. They meet a character by the name of Mr. Slauson, I believe, and he lets them stay at this old amusement park that he used to run with his wife. As the movie goes on, there's another character in this film who's kind of stalking these, young youths out there, and taking them one by one and turning them into sideshow attractions at this amusement park. Great movie, guys. If you guys have never seen it, definitely put it on your list this summer to check out. This is the uncut version of the film, which is pretty cool. I don't know if there's a huge difference. I noticed, I think there's like six extra minutes of footage put into this movie. I could tell there were some gory moments in this movie put back in it, because if I remember correct, the original theatrical cut of this movie really didn't have too much gore. So there was a couple moments where like a scene would just kind of continue for a little bit more, and you would see like blood or something like that. It's also a unique slasher movie / horror movie, because a lot of the killings don't take place right away. You do have, I believe, like one opening kill, and then the next one takes place like 10 minutes later. But it's a built-up type of slasher movie. So you have a great story here, and then kills kind of spread out through the entire film. Tourist Trap, definitely put this one on your list to check out this summer. Either try to find it on streaming if you want, or just pick up this Blu-ray. Really cool Blu-ray, guys, and one that is a must. If you want like an eerie horror movie, this is also a very good eerie slasher movie / horror movie to check out. So Tourist Trap. The next one is actually very similar in plot to that movie, though it does have a different title, and it's considered a remake to another film, and that is the 2005 House of Wax. So again, one that you might not put on a summer list or a summer slasher movie list, but this is definitely a summer slasher movie. I saw this in theaters, and I am so happy that this movie has a following now, because when I saw it in theaters, I remember it was me and maybe 2 other people who sat in the theater and watched this. It did not do well at the box office. It was not a big hit. And when it came out, it was criticized for quite a bit of stuff. You know, Paris Hilton's in this movie. A lot of people at the time didn't like her, and I don't know if people just didn't want to go see the movie because she was in it. But for me personally, when it comes to Paris Hilton, I think she does a good job in this. I don't think she's bad at all. She obviously has, spoiler alert, the best kill in this movie, but she does a good job. And you have such a great cast in this film. A lot of people at the time who were in other movies and TV shows, they're in this film. Again, it's based on a group of young youths. They are going to a football game, and something happens where, you know, their car breaks down. And they wind up finding this small town out in the middle of nowhere, where it's pretty much built of, or there's a museum, the House of Wax, which is or was very well known at the time. You know, these lifelike statues that look like people, these wax figures that look like people, very realistic. And so this small town is pretty much abandoned now, and not a lot of people live there. So again, you know, this young adults, they come across this town, and once again, there's a, you know, somebody there who's taking them one by one and making them real life wax figures. I've always loved this movie. Again, it did not do well when it came out at all. It's called House of Wax, and it's, you know, a lot of people would say this is a remake to the Vincent Price movie, but it's really a remake. If you've seen both of them, it's really a remake to Tourist Trap. A lot of the same themes in this movie. So I kind of wonder if they originally were going to go for the title Tourist Trap, and with House of Wax being a more well-known movie, they just decided to go with the title House of Wax, which it's also very fitting because of the museum there, which is made out of wax, literally. So took a little quote from the trailer of this movie. I can't wait for the Scream Factory release next month. I'm glad that this movie has more love now, and more people are talking about it and appreciating this movie 16 years later, I believe now. So House of Wax, guys, definitely pick that one up if you want to get just the standard release, or wait till the Scream Factory release comes out. The next one is not really too much of a summer slasher movie. It does take place in the summer, though. It's more of a thriller suspense horror movie. There are, you know, there's a small body count in this movie, but if you're looking for like just a, you know, straight up slasher movie where there's a huge body count, you're not going to get it with this movie. However, it is still a great, summer horror movie, summer slasher movie. I still consider it a slasher film, and that is The Final Terror. So, again, a group of young adults, they're kind of working on something. I don't know. I think they're environmentalists. Hopefully I'm saying the correct term. But they're, taking this trip. They're going to do something. They wind up camping in the middle of the woods, and there is something out there, usual slashers. There's some being or some human out there that's picking them off one by one, and it's pretty much about the rest of the young adults having to fight back. And so a lot of their survivalist stuff that they've learned, they use. And I absolutely love The Final Terror. This has always been one, especially with this Blu-ray, that I've always loved. There was a previous DVD out, which wasn't the greatest DVD. It was very bad picture quality. I had it at one point, and you really did not see anything going on in it. It's kind of like the Platinum Edition of Prom Night, if you remember that one. But Scream Factory did such a great job with this Blu-ray. I love when they release like lesser known titles, and this is one of my favorites. So if you've never seen The Final Terror, definitely check this out. You got a young Daryl Hannah in this movie. Again, at the time, you had a lot of familiar faces that you would see in other films that are in this movie as well. One of the guys is in the movie Grease 2, so you'll see him in this movie. He was also in Grease 2. He was the lead T-Bird in Grease 2. And then the lead guy from the Heavenly Kids in this movie as well. But yes, guys, so The Final Terror, if you've never seen it, put it on your watch list, guys. This is one to definitely check out and actually pick up. So if you guys want a kind of a new summer slasher movie to check out and pick up this summer, pick up The Final Terror. This is definitely one that I have to watch every summer. Again, it's a movie that now I hear more and more people talk about, but like say in like 2008 or 2009, I remember hearing about this movie from an old YouTuber, Jarashot. Does not make videos anymore, hasn't made a video in over 10 years, but he used to talk about a lot of great horror movies. And this was one of these slasher films. It's a slasher movie, but it's also a thriller and horror movie that he talked about. And so if you want a great summer slasher movie, hopefully I'm saying that right, slasher movie, to check out, that is Just Before Dawn. This is the Kino Lumbar Code Red release. They've released several editions of this movie. But I recently picked up the newest edition of Just Before Dawn because it has previous and old bonus features in here. Or new and old bonus features on this Blu-ray. But anyway, Just Before Dawn, again, similar plot. You have young adults going out. In this one, though, the lead guy in this movie, he's going to check out an old, some land that he was inherited to by, a family member, I think a grandfather. And so he's going to check out that land, gonna go check out that place, and so he invites his girlfriend and some friends up there to travel with him. And they happen to just stop out and camp in the middle of the woods, and there is, again, something out there that's going after them one by one and terrorizing them. This is one of my all-time favorites. I love the atmosphere. It has such a great atmosphere. You have a lot of in-the-woods type slasher movies that are great, and I love them. One that I forgot to pull is like the So Bad It's Good one, Don't Go Out in the Woods Alone. That is a great one. But Just Before Dawn is a better movie. Again, you have a lot of those, in the woods, summer slasher movies. This is one of the best kind of atmospheric in the woods summer slasher films. And I've always loved this ever since I first saw it. It really kind of just stands out from a lot of the slasher movies that came out during the time. I believe this was 1981, so this was that, rise and that peak of a lot of slasher films. But you got a good twist kind of midway into this movie, which I'm not going to spoil if you've never seen it. You have an overall good cast here, good atmosphere. Brad Fiedel, who did the music for The Terminator and Fright Night, this was one of his first movies that he composed music for. Love the score, love the soundtrack. Definitely put this one on your list if you've never seen Just Before Dawn. And this one is the latest Blu-ray that came out, and I'm looking forward to revisiting that movie this summer. So this one's pretty well known, but again, unlike, Friday the 13th and The Burning, not as known. If you guys have never seen it, definitely check it out. They did sequels after this movie, and while I do love the second movie, and I think the third movie's pretty good, and I don't really remember the fourth one too much, this has always been my favorite of the franchise, and will always be my favorite, and just one of my favorite slasher movies in general. That is Sleepaway Camp. So this one is about a young teenage girl, Angela, and her brother, or not her brother, but her cousin Ricky. They're going to a summer camp, and Angela is a very shy person. There is a traumatic thing that happened that you see in the beginning of the movie that made her this kind of shy girl. She doesn't have friends. Her only real friend is her cousin Ricky. She does befriend another kid in this movie, another teenage boy in this movie. Trying to remember his name, I can't remember right now. But she, befriends him as well. They become friends. Actually, they become like love interests throughout the movie. But she's not well liked at this camp. She's a very quiet person, doesn't know a lot of people, and she's picked on quite a bit from other, teenage boys and teenage girls at this camp. Well, one by one, they start being picked off, and there's this, person out there who is picking them off. Could it be Angela? Could it be Ricky? Could it be somebody else picking these people off? Because each one of these people that die, each one of these teenagers that die, these summer camp youths that die, all have something to do with harassing and picking on Angela. Great twist at the end of the movie. If you guys have never seen this, I don't want to give it away, and in the comments below, don't talk about the ending just in case somebody might not have seen this movie. And if you haven't seen this movie, don't go look it up. I would just say go ahead and purchase this movie. This one is available. I know it's available from Scream Factory. I know that Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3, which kind of continue on this franchise, they were available from Scream Factory, but they're now out of print. I believe 88 Films now has them, and I think they're available. So if you want to pick those up overseas, they're also great movies. But the first one for me is still the best, and this edition is amazing to pick up. Definitely get it if you guys don't own this yet. And say you've seen this movie and you still don't own this edition, this is definitely worth owning in your collection. You got a great 45-minute documentary, and rest in peace to the actress who played Aunt Martha, Angela's aunt and Ricky's mother. I believe Desiree Gold. I don't want to butcher her name, but she played Aunt Martha. Rest in peace to her. She just recently passed away. I've met Felissa Rose, who plays Angela. I've met the actor who plays Ricky. I wish I would have been able to meet Aunt Martha, because she is a character. Even though she does not have a lot of screen time, she does have, probably one of the most bizarre and one of the best scenes in this movie towards the beginning of the film. Aunt Martha. If you've seen this movie, you know Aunt Martha. But yes, check out Sleepaway Camp if you've never seen it, guys. Pick up this edition. I believe this is still available from Scream Factory. So of course, with summer slasher movies, you have to mention a Friday the 13th film. I did not want to mention a lot of them, and the one that I thought about when I was coming up with this list, if I had to pick one Friday the 13th film to pick out of all the films, the one that I thought about the most has probably one of the best, summer slasher movie feels, summer camp slasher movies, and it's actually Friday the 13th Part 2. So if you guys have seen this movie, which I think a lot of people have seen these Friday the 13th films, not only was this the first one with Jason Voorhees as the killer, but this was pre-hockey mask. So this was Sackhead Jason. One of the scariest, if not one of the eeriest, creepiest Friday the 13th films. Overall, love the cast. I think they're all like great, unknown faces at the time, like, young adults, training to be counselors for this summer camp. And if you guys have seen the first movie, there was, Camp Crystal Lake, and in this movie, Camp Crystal Lake is closed. The town is very upset that they are actually going to have another summer camp nearby the now abandoned Camp Crystal Lake. And again, one by one throughout the movie, people are picked off. It's Jason Voorhees now who's going after these people, going after these young adults. And this is definitely one of the best ones of the franchise, guys. I love the atmosphere. I love the look of it. Again, kind of like Just Before Dawn, I really love the feel and atmosphere of this summer slasher movie. It's kind of like your everyday summer camp that you would go to, or just kind of like, for example, I live near woods. And so this reminds me so much of like the woods around here and the look of it and the feel. And so I love the atmosphere, guys. I love the eeriness about this movie. These are well-known movies, especially the first maybe like 5 films, where a lot of the films take place at night and in rainy settings. And I love like the rainy setting in this movie. But Amy Steele's in this. She plays the lead. She's great, guys. And this is just one of the best of the franchise. This is definitely top 5 for me, if not top 3 or 4, as far as one of my favorite Friday the 13th films. And if you guys have never seen Friday the 13th Part 2, definitely watch this movie. Say if you're a person who's only seen the first movie and you've never seen any of the other Friday the 13th films, this is definitely one of the best. Or say if you've only seen maybe like Jason with the hockey mask, and if you've never seen Part 1 or Part 2 before the hockey mask, they're movies to check out. Part 2, definitely one of my favorites and one that I recommend, guys. So the last one, if you're going to have a list of summer slasher movies to check out, this, of course, is one to put on your watch list. I watch it every summer. I think a lot of people do who are a fan of this movie. This is one that we pretty much all would watch, or we do watch. And that is The Burning. Again, another summer slasher movie. And once again, one of the best atmospheric summer slasher movies, summer horror movies in general. The Burning, this one is kind of a revenge flick. It opens up where you have, I believe the character is Cropsy. He's an old janitor, or he runs the grounds. And he's not really well liked. He's mean to the, campers. They don't like him. So a group of young teenage guys or teenage boys decide they are going to play a prank on Cropsy one night. And what winds up happening is there's an accident where Cropsy is put on fire. He gets caught on fire. And, jump 6 months later, he is, pretty much, I think 6 months later or a year later, he is, burned up, he's disfigured, he's angry, and so he wants, I believe it takes place 6 years later, he wants to take revenge on, just a summer camp because of what happened to him. He's mean, he's angry, and so he wants to go terrorize and, take revenge on a summer camp. So he comes across a summer camp, and he goes after these young youths again, picks them off one by one. I'm not really giving the best plot synopsis of this movie, but I think a lot of people have seen it. But it's a revenge slasher movie. It has one of the best kind of unknown cast, and these are still pretty much unknown actors and actresses, except you do have Holly Hunter in this movie. I am forgetting his name right now. Let's see. Jason Alexander from Seinfeld. Holly Hunter has a small role in this movie. Let's see, we got Brian Banker from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. So you have seen these faces before, but they're not like too famous to where, you know, you're like, you know, they're just throwing famous people in a slasher movie. A lot of the people that you probably now were unknown at the time, and you can see, you know, these you know, teenagers in this movie, and they're like your everyday teenagers at the time. So I love the unknown faces in this movie, unknown names, your everyday, you know, young youths at a summer camp. I just love the setting. I love the atmosphere. It's one of the eeriest slasher movies in my opinion. And The Burning is one that I have to watch every year when I'm watching summer horror movies and summer slasher movies. This is a must, guys. So if you've never seen The Burning, pick it up, guys. Or if you have seen the movie and you don't own this edition, I believe it is still available from Scream Factory. This is one of my favorite releases from them, and still one of my favorites. I love this. I loved it when it came out on Blu-ray. I love it now. The Burning is one to check out, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the 6 slasher movies, summer slasher movies that I recommended to you guys. All of these are great ones, guys. Me personally, I love all these movies. And so if you're looking for some summer slasher movies to check out, maybe you've seen some of these, but you haven't seen the rest. Put them on your list to watch, guys. Pick them up or try to watch them any way you can. Or if you're getting into summer slasher movies, summer horror movies, all 6 of these are worth picking up or checking out, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more videos to come, guys. I got some Pride videos coming up. I mentioned that in my last video. I'm going to be recommending some Pride movies to watch this month. And just stay tuned for more videos to check out on this channel, guys. More recommendation videos, and I'm going to be doing an update soon. Going to show off, not everything, but pretty much a lot of the stuff that I've picked up. I've put everything away, but there's some recent stuff that I'm going to show up. Show up? That's weird. Show on a future current or, you know, soon-to-be movie update. Can't talk for some reason. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I really appreciate it. And stay tuned for more videos to come. So as always, you guys are awesome. You guys rock. And with the positive out with the negative, go eat some Skittles. And so much love to you all. And I'll definitely talk to you guys soon. Alright, guys. Bye.